Like so many other manufacturers, Toyota is on a mission to completely electrify all of their vehicles, and last year we saw the introduction of that first chapter of that, the all-new BZ4X midsize all-electric SUV. Now today I'm at a studio in Los Angeles, California, talking about the next chapter. This right here is the BZ compact SUV concept, and as you can see, it's a slightly smaller version of the BZ4X, and it has a design that is both distinctive and very futuristic. So let's go ahead and take a first look. Now, because the BZ compact SUV is technically still a concept, I do not have any final powertrain specs. This is still basically just a design study from Toyota, but this will eventually become a new model that will slot below the BZ4X in the lineup. So let's go ahead and talk about the styling direction of this new SUV. As you can see, it is a concept vehicle, so a few things may change whenever Toyota decides to go to the full production model, but I do see some influence here from the next generation Prius. You can see it's got that distinctive C-shaped LED light signature. It also has these 4 individual LEDs for the headlights. There's also this really nice LED light strip at the lower part of the front fascia. And you can see the light strip kind of goes across and connects the 2 headlights together. A lot of EVs are going with a design theme, so not surprising me that Toyota would do the same thing. You have to admit, it is a very distinctive look, and I really am looking forward to seeing a full production version of this car. Now, walking over to the side profile of this vehicle, because it is going to be smaller than the BZ4X, Toyota actually did say what some of the dimensions were. Now, the BZ4X is around 184.5 inches long. It's technically a mid-size SUV. Dimensionally, this car is around 178 inches long, so it's about 8 inches shorter. The wheelbase has also been shrunken by about 4 inches at around 108 inches long. So this is going to be a right-sized vehicle for a lot of you out there who live in an urban environment. You want something that's a little bit smaller. It's also about 1 inch wider. So again, lower roofline, wider stance. It gives it a much sleeker design. This particular concept also has these really attractive 21-inch wheels. So it's 1 inch larger versus the 20s you get on the BZ4X. You also have a very fat 265 width tire on this concept. Now, I suspect the production version probably will have a smaller wheel and tire package, but you have to admit it is a very attractive looking vehicle, and it really looks a lot sportier and a lot sleeker. So it kind of gets me excited for the next design direction for Toyota electric SUVs. Now, the rest of the profile, you can see a lot of interesting cues here, especially the sculpted look and the flared out fenders and real hard haunches. The roof is completely glass. I don't believe it opens. Remember, this is still a concept. And then when you look at the rear of the car, very distinctive light signature, almost very Lexus-like in the look, especially with the full-length LED taillight, which kind of has like a 3-dimensional look to it. It also has the new BZ badge here that they just introduced on the new Prius. It also says BEV there for battery electric vehicle. This concept is basically built for the world market, so it's most likely going to change a lot whenever Toyota decides to introduce the full production version of this car. I won't be able to show you guys the cargo specs, but we can show you guys the interior, so let's go ahead and show you guys this next generation of Toyota's technology. So it's not every day that you get to sit inside a hand-built concept car, and Toyota said that I could, so I'm going to show you guys the interior of this BZ compact SUV concept. Now, I have to say, this interior is wild. Toyota is typically known for doing some conservative designs. They are testing the waters here with the look of this infotainment system. You can see the screens are front and center. A lot of EVs are going in that direction. You have a 14-inch touchscreen over here and a 10.3-inch screen sitting ahead for the instrument panel. And you also notice the screens are slightly curved. Toyota did that curved look because they didn't want the screens to impede on your visibility here. So they're not sitting up completely upright because that would again block your visibility out of the front, and that's why you have this curved look. You also probably noticed this little glowing blue ball over there. That is actually a personal assistant that they call Yui. It's kind of like a lot of those voice commands that you get in all the other vehicles, and you can see I touched the screen that woke up the new UI, the new user interface. This is technically not Toyota Audio Multimedia. This is an all-new system that's cloud-based, I believe, and you can see it looks really futuristic. It's very bright. It looks modern in this interior. You also have features like a wireless phone charging pad, your gear selector is over here, and then the power button is here. And then with Yui, you have voice commands, so I can say things like, "Hey Yui, hey Yui, air conditioning, air conditioning." There you go. You can see once you called out the command, it brings up the climate functions, which you can see, it actually is very Tesla-like. I can adjust the airflow from the screen over here. I can adjust the climate control. And I can also use all the separate buttons here to adjust the heated seats. You can also go into your music settings. You can see the interface is very modern. This is unlike any other Toyota vehicle that I've seen before, and I really think a lot of people are going to like the design. Now, of course, how can you not talk about the steering wheel as well? It's got a yoke, which I actually haven't had a chance to drive a vehicle with a yoke. I'm not entirely sure this will make it to production. Toyota has a version of the yoke in the Lexus RZ, their electric SUV, but I don't think it's coming to the US. It's a very interesting look. It's definitely very futuristic. It makes it so you don't get a blocked view of that 10.3-inch instrument panel. And then a lot of the rest of the materials, you can see you have this really nice mouse fur fabric on the wheel, on the dashboard, a lot of leather stitching. Remember, this is basically a hand-built concept car, so I'm not going to poke around and talk about interior quality. This is a very fragile vehicle. But let's go ahead and hop into the back seats, because I do want to talk about the space back here. Now, this is a compact SUV, so you probably want to know, how is the space? Now, because of the design of a battery electric vehicle, the skateboard architecture, it makes for the batteries lining the floor. You can see completely flat floor back here. Obviously, no legroom figures, but this is pretty good, honestly. For a small SUV that also has a low roof line, I will say that at 5'7", my head is pretty close to the ceiling, but the glass roof does let in a lot of light. But overall, I'd probably say this has like 35 inches of legroom back here. Remember, it's about 6 inches shorter versus the BZ4X, but I have to say, I hope Toyota decides to do a production version, because I think with that new interface and the design, this car would really stand out on the roads. So while technically the new BZ compact SUV is still a concept, I must admit seeing this vehicle in person really shows me that Toyota is capable of very interesting looking designs. This car, if it ever makes it to a production version, is seriously going to stand out, especially if Toyota keeps the design practically the same. The look of the car, I think, is a winner. The interior is also very impressive. Love the new 14-inch touchscreen with the UE voice commands. I am looking forward to seeing an actual production version of that show up, because Toyota just developed their audio multimedia interface, which I personally think is one of the best in the industry. So seeing a new software in the interior of this model really gets me excited to see what Toyota is going to be showing us for the next generation of vehicles. Now, sadly, I can't tell you when this car is going to show up as a production car, but you should expect to see it very soon, because Toyota is quickly expanding their lineup of battery electric vehicles, and you should expect to see 5 new BEVs on the market by the year 2030. But with all that said, hope you guys have enjoyed my first look overview on the brand new, or the concept, BZ compact SUV. If you're also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, be sure to follow me on Instagram at redline_reviews, like us on Facebook, and as always, guys, please keep subscribing to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.